Good morning, everybody. My name is Kimberly McDougall. I am the travel agent next door, and I'm here today with Aaron Crawford, and he represents Holland America Line and Seabourn Cruise Line as well. So we're going to chat a bit about those two cruise lines, what makes them different, and what are some of Aaron's favorite things about both of those. Welcome, Aaron. It's so nice to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what is one of your favorite cruise itineraries? I know you're an avid cruiser, so
Mm.
tell us about one of your favorite itineraries.
Yeah, I love this question because I'm well over 100 cruises in my life. So it's something that I love doing. It's my favorite way of traveling. And for the longest time, I would say it's the Panama Canal, the full canal from California to Florida and then through Panama. It's just such a unique itinerary with so much history.
Yeah.
But really, my favorite cruise, the one I've done the most, is Alaska.
Such a
Whether it's
popular one.
Alaska. Oh, yeah, it's so popular. And every time you do it is different. Whether you do the full cruise or whether you do a cruise tour, it is just so delicious in so many ways.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I've certainly had people travel and do that Alaska cruise itinerary. Tell me, because Seabourn and Holland America are two very different styles of cruising. Can you tell us a bit about the differences? And in particular with that Alaska itinerary, the differences, because I know there's, it does make a difference in the ship that you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with Holland America. Holland America has been taking guests to Alaska since before it was even a state. So it's the cruise line that really knows Alaska better than anyone else. And some really kind of fundamental differences there is Holland America is your premium contemporary cruise line. So traditional in a lot of senses. Medium to small ships. In Alaska specifically, some unique kind of features that we would be able to offer there would be our preferred docking rights. So the fact that Holland America will be docked downtown in the ports of call, very easy to get on and off the ship, where all other cruise lines, including our sister brands, including Seabourn, might be docked a little bit further away. We also have a retractable roof over our pool deck, which means you can use it regardless of the weather, which is really important. The glacier guarantee, which means because of our preferred access into the protected areas of Glacier Bay, as an example, we can guarantee you'll have a glacier experience or you'll get 15% of your cruise fare back as a future cruise credit. And we know that glaciers are really one of the main reasons people are choosing to go to Alaska.
Obviously, yeah. That's wonderful.
Now, yeah,
Yeah.
so really unique features there. The Seabourn, it is small ship. The largest would be 600, smallest is 450 passengers. Ultra luxury, all inclusive, which means there's no drink package, there's no Wi-Fi package. It's all included, all suites. So it is really that ultra luxury experience, but it's not formal, it's not stuffy. It's really accessible luxury, is what I like to refer to it as. And when you think about that small ship in Alaska, what it can do that Holland America can't even do is really get you into some of those really isolated, really unique ports of call. Because of that small ship, it can get into areas that the larger cruise lines just can't get into. So if that luxurious experience, that kind of all suite experience is something that appeals to you, then Seabourn's a really great option for that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now you've mentioned the number of passengers on the seaborne ships. Approximately how many passengers on the Holland America ships?
Yeah, so our smallest ship would be our R class, which is just a little over 1,400 passengers. And then our Pinnacle class would be our largest vessel, and that's going to be roughly around 2,600 passengers.
Still a very reasonable number of passengers and still plenty of staff to provide excellent service. So those are just some wonderful things to know for my clients. Now, when they are docked, there's the opportunity to experience the locale that they're docked in, that destination. And how does Holland America and Seabourn, how do you enhance that destination experience, those excursions for the clients aboard?
Yeah, it's a good question. So Holland America, we've actually recently partnered with the History Channel. And so you'll see that on our itineraries where the voyage itself, but most importantly, the excursions have been curated in partnership with the History Channel to really immerse you in that destination as much as possible. We know that, your time on board the ship is really exciting, but it's really that destination that got you usually to go on that particular itinerary. So we know how important that is. And being able to partner with the History Channel has just taken those experiences to the next level, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful experience for people to have when they're in destination. And cruising is a fabulous way to travel. You see multiple destinations. You unpack once. It's truly delightful. And the other aspect of cruising is the onboard experience.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a bit about the onboard experience on Holland America and Seabourn?
Yeah, so both are very different, of course.
Yeah.
Holland America, the onboard experience, for me, my favorite part is just that classic cruise experience, that classic cruise aesthetic on there. Uncomplicated, unfussy, a real nod to kind of our nautical heritage. So it's just really relaxing. It's such a great way to kind of unplug from the world and just a little escape for a little bit. Of course, the music walk on board is one of my favorite areas to go to. And on our Pinnacle class ships, that's where you're going to find all of our venues. So the BB King Lounge for your jazz and blues, the Rolling Stone Lounge for your classic and contemporary rock and roll, Billboard on Board for dueling pianos, and then Third Avenue West, which is string instruments. Really, that live music is such a vibe, and it's really at the heart of the Holland America experience.
Hmm.
In Seabourn, it's a little bit different because it's that small ship. It's definitely elevated. So yes, we have our theater shows. We've got live music. We'll have everything on board our ocean vessels that you would expect: the gym, the spa, the casino, etc. The coffee shop to grab a bite. But it's going to be a little bit more elevated, a little bit more relaxed, for sure. But being able to enjoy unlimited champagne, unlimited caviar in your suites, or in the guest areas where you're going to be mingling with other fellow travelers, it just makes it such a unique experience where in a lot of ways it'll feel like you're coming home on that voyage, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You really want travelers to feel comfortable when they're on board your ships. That's for
Mhm.
sure. And it sounds like both lines just create a wonderful experience that way. Now, many of my clients are retired, semi-retired, entrepreneurs. Some of them are grandparents wanting to travel with their children, or sometimes they have some physical limitations. Is there one cruise line or the other that you would recommend for either of those scenarios?
Yeah, that's a great question because we know the multi-gen families are traveling more than ever before. We know that accessibility is always a concern for clients. So Holland America, of course, we can offer a wide range of accessibility options in the cabins. Of course, you'd always want to work with your travel advisor to make sure that they're getting you the right cabin, the right location, because everyone's accessibility needs are going to be slightly different. So we've got a wide range of options available for you there. When it comes to families, again, Holland America might not be thought of as your first choice for family cruising. However, we've got a great kids club program on board. We have amazing crew members on board in our youth clubs to be able to help and support you through that travel experience, help and support and take care of the little ones as they're traveling. And the really, I think, exciting thing about Holland America is we'll often find we have less children on board than some of those larger cruise lines. So if you're maybe you're in that kids club and there's only 40 or 50 other children in there. Now that means that you're seeing your friends when you're kind of out and about on the ship. And so now that entire ship feels a bit more accessible to them, which can make it really exciting and really a bit more of an enjoyable experience for the parents or grandparents traveling with those children.
It sounds like because of the smaller numbers, it really creates a community on
Mhm.
board ship, which is just a wonderful supportive feeling for parents and grandparents, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, that retractable roof over the pool
Oh,
will
yeah.
just alleviate any pressure you might have over questionable weather. And then what am I going to do with the kids today? No, you'll still be able to take them to the pool area and be able to enjoy that.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Mhm.
great because the pool area is always a hit with the kids, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, Tell me about your favorite experience or your most memorable experience on one of your recent cruises, Aaron.
Well, I recently, just this spring, I went to the Mediterranean on Seabourn, and this was a bit of a repositioning. So it was an expedition ship that was in the Mediterranean, and that's a bit unusual.
Yeah.
The expedition ship is only 264 passengers, so very small, but again, all the luxury that you would expect on any seaborne ship. And this itinerary was really special because it went from Barcelona to Rome with an overnight in Monte Carlo.
Oh,
And we had tickets included in that voyage that allowed us to go to the Monte Carlo Masters, which was just such a unique experience.
yeah.
Because of that perfectly sized ship, we actually docked in the yacht club in the Bay of Monte Carlo. If you've ever been there, you know how amazing that view is. And then we had a private shuttle to be able to take us up to the Monte Carlo Masters for 2 days of performance there. So just a really unique experience on that small ship is something that I definitely will remember for a long time.
Absolutely. And that can be one of the advantages of what those smaller ships and those expedition type cruises is just the uniqueness of the locales that they can
Mhm.
destinations that they can go into and just the experiences that you will have on board and off board with those special
Yeah,
tickets. So
yeah.
that's that's wonderful. Tell me, my clients are always wanting value. So tell me a bit about the value. I have heard so many things that just speak, oh, that's so valuable to my clients. That's so
Mhm.
valuable to my clients. Can you just recap that a bit for us about the value in booking a Holland America or a Seabourn cruise?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone is, especially when it comes to travel, we're looking for the best value, the most bang for our buck. Holland America, really, what we're focusing on is the experience. So we want to give you the most immersive experience in those ports of calls as possible. We've curated unique itineraries to really maximize that time ashore, to always be thinking about sea days versus port days and making sure that that's balanced. Your onboard experience, of course, we want to be able to give you everything that we can on board. So we're going to have those well-appointed cabins on there. We've got access to the specialty dining, of course, and then we include, or we can include our have it all package or our drinks package, and that roughly works out to be about $85 Canadian per person per day. Both adults in the cabin have to have it, but the inclusions really set us apart from other cruise lines. So it'll include your alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. It'll include a specialty dining credit, a shore excursion credit on there, and Wi-Fi. At that rate, it really is one of the least expensive drink packages in the market. And then we often have an early booking version of that, which will elevate your drink package, elevate the Wi Fi. It'll include crew gratuities, and it'll include the low price guarantee. And at that rate, it really is something that's exceptional, great value. Even if you don't drink alcohol, because of the Wi Fi, because of the gratuities, it really is still exceptional value.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing because so often I do hear from clients, well, I don't drink alcohol. Is
Mhm,
it worth it for me?
mhm,
And so knowing those two other features, it really does make it worth it
mhm.
for those people who just want to have mocktails or soda or, sparkling water, whatever the case may
Yeah,
be, tea and coffee. So
yeah,
yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
I know I've heard you talk about this at various events, but the unique experience in the Caribbean locations where there's caviar and you're in the beautiful warm waters. Can you tell us about that special
Yeah.
experience when you're on board Seabourn?
Absolutely. So thinking about value for Seabourn, I mean, this is really where it sets itself apart in such a fabulous way. It's all inclusive. So your drink package is included, Wi-Fi, gratuities are included, and in some cases with Ocean, your shore excursions are included. So the one example, which I think you're leading me to, is one of my favorites. It's called Caviar in the Surf. So once you get to St. Kitts, we're going to take you to a private island, Garambola Beach, and we're going to take our guests ashore for an amazing surf and turf barbecue on the beach. It is free of charge for everyone. It's usually the excursion that everyone's doing, so you're going to see the entire ship out there. And just imagine you're there having this amazing lunch. You're in St. Kitts in that beautiful beach and the beautiful blue water. And what's going to happen is the crew in their full whites will take a surfboard out covered in linen into the turquoise water. And then around the bay comes your cruise director and the head chef with tins of amazing caviar, 1.5 kilo tins of caviar. And then they're going to come around the bay and the crew will serve you caviar and champagne from this surfboard in the water in the Turks and in St. Kitts. And it really is something special. It is as decadent as it sounds. And I'm smiling even just remembering how much fun that was to be able to do. Because of course you can see the beautiful ship off in the background. And it's such a decadent and delicious way to spend an afternoon. And it really, I think, just highlights the opportunity on Seabourn just to spoil yourself a little bit and just look for those moments where everything is just a little bit extra, just a little bit more.
Hmm.
And it's those things that I think will, that I remember after all the travel that I've been through. It's the things that stick out for me.
Of course they do. Yeah, those little extra special things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Now tell me, I often get requests for people traveling solo.
Mhm.
So tell me, with regard to Holland America and Seabourn, how do they cater to those solo travelers and how do they make them feel welcome on board ship?
Mhm. Yeah, we know that's such an emerging market in such a big way. Holland America, the rates there are set at double occupancy. So a solo traveler will be paying for both spots kind of within that cabin, or at 200% basically is the number that would be commonly used in the industry. That being said, though, on our Pinnacle class ships, we do have a few solo cabins available. Those are custom kind of built for one guest, and the rates will be impacted in that way. Of course, work with your travel advisor. You'd be booking those far in advance as possible to make sure you've secured the right cabin for you. And then on board, we'll have a series of activities and fun kind of opportunities to connect with your other solo travelers, which is always exciting. So you want to look for that either in your newspaper or in the Navigator app.
Mhm.
Seabourn, we won't have solo cabins because they're all suites, of course. Everything is built around double occupancy, but the solo rate on Seabourn is significantly less. So we have, I think I just looked the other day, I think there was about 70 itineraries that would be applicable for the solo rate, and it's only an additional 25%, or 125
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
way that people in the industry would refer to it.
Mhm.
So it is, if you're the kind of guest that's traveling solo and you're already leaning towards a suite, or you're leaning towards maybe one of those private retreats on board a contemporary cruise line, well, once you look at Seabourn and you realize that it's a full suite, you have a butler and a concierge, it's all inclusive. Well, now you can look at that rate and think, well, it's a pretty good comparison.
Mhm.
And I think you'd be surprised with how much more accessible that Seabourn experience can be.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. Yeah, what a great way to spend our day today, Aaron,
Yeah,
talking about Holland America and Seabourn. I truly appreciate your time and spending that time with me and with my clients to help everybody just understand the differences between the two cruise lines a little bit better and just yeah, it's just such a wonderful cruise line, both cruise lines, and offering such different things. And I think that's the important thing. I always believe there's a cruise for everybody, and it's just a
mhm,
matter of finding the right cruise line, the right itinerary, and the right ship to make that happen for people. So that's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, excellent.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate that. And hopefully we'll be able to do this on Garambola Beach next time.
Yes, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Aaron. I really appreciate it.